Season 2, episode 59 or 58. Nate and I were just barking back and forth. We're unsure. I think it's 59.
I think it is 59. I think that sounds right.
It's a pretty good number, 59.
It is.
You know, we think about it on the golf course.
That's a great number. You think of some other notables? Jake Gensel?
Yeah, Jake Gensel for sure.
Roman Yossi?
Roman Yossi for sure.
Yeah.
59, yeah. It's a great number. But speaking of a guy he's shot 4 rounds in the 50s in his life, never on tour, Tony Finau.
4 rounds of 59?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think even lower.
Oh, lower than 59?
I think he's got some like 57s and 8s too in those 4 rounds. But
I thought 59 was the all-time record.
No.
Oh.
Jim Furyk on the PGA Tour shot 58.
That's right.
Yeah. But
That's the lowest on tour.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We'll get in, and 59, I think there's been 8 people. One of them being Adam Hadwin, Canadian. But we'll get into the golf on later on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We got the pregame ahead. MLB is going to dominate quarter 1. Quarter 2 is the PGA Tour. The halftime show, we're going to go with some sports players. Would you rather? Quarter 3 will move into the NHL, and quarter 4 will bring it home in the NFL. But Nate, starting off in the pregame show, how was the weekend? It's a long weekend here in Nova Scotia. It's a holiday Monday, so we apologize for the late episode. I was in the city caddying for a good friend of mine, Alex Felt, mate. We didn't get the job done, but it's always a good time, in tournament golf, grinding and man, it's the conditions were tough.
Yeah, I bet. Jeez, man. From what I've heard from you, it sounds like it was an absolute heater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds sick there.
Yeah, the course does it right. I mean, so everyone at the course, they bring their significant others. It's a big party because of the long weekend on a Monday. It's always on this weekend. And we're talking about probably 400 people, just buckled in on the 18th hole, watching the last final groups. Then there was a playoff. It was absolutely electric. So it was a good time there in Halifax and Dartmouth. But Nate, I do want to say rest in peace to Bill Russell. Mm-hmm. Bill Russell, 11 championships.
Yep. It's absolutely ridiculous. What was he, 88?
88.
He was, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, R.I.P. Old Bill Russell. It's a shame.
Yeah, Boston Celtic legend.
Yeah,
you think 11
no
rings, man. Like one for every finger.
Plus
2 thumbs. And
where else could you fit a ring?
So let's go through this. So what would how are you fitting 11 rings? What are you doing?
I'm getting one jumbo size and shoving it right down my pants.
Okay. A cock ring?
A cock ring.
Okay.
Get a little vibrator on it, maybe.
Okay.
Imagine that.
I mean, that's interesting for the 11th ring, but yeah, I mean, you'd have to get
do something.
Yeah,
you got it on my toe.
Yeah, for sure. Nate, moving to the UFC world, Amanda Nunes, who I gave out was going to knock out Juliana Pena, who beat her in one of the biggest upsets in December, ended up losing to Amanda Nunes beat her this time, which was expected, but it was a unanimous decision. And I mean, they were both pretty banged up. They both took a lot of big shots. I mean, this was an exciting fight, but our guy Sam Alvey is fighting this weekend, this upcoming Saturday. So we'll be watching Sam. We'll be betting on Sam. Then we'll have him on the podcast following.
Yes, I believe he's plus 380 last I checked too. So, I mean,
we're not feeling great about it, but
I don't know. Man, I've pulled some UFCs. I remember I got Khabib against McGregor.
Yep.
Oh, man, the odds were great on that.
Yeah.
I beat the wheels off him. And then Poirier's were good too.
Yeah.
I mean, those are obviously a little bit of a different story.
Yeah,
here.
this is an undercard.
Sam.
Yeah, Sammy, our guy.
It's certainly an undercard.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good fight for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing the guy out there swinging again.
Yeah, man. It's always funny.
Absolute effing beauty.
He is, man.
Guy's a beauty.
He's always involved in our social media, and anyway,
yes.
he'll be on the podcast following that fight on Saturday. But Nate, did want to mention to close out the pregame show, Dwight Howard said he's going to be joining the WWE.
Yes.
So I was watching the WWE highlights over the weekend. Obviously, Logan Paul is kind of in that scene now. Pat McAfee obviously commentates.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know how you can enjoy that. It is just guys flopping off the tables, doing front flips off ladders. It's like, obviously there's a bit of athleticism and acrobatics involved in it, but like, is it like, it's so staged? Like everyone knows that, right?
Dude,
like,
have you seen, it's an all-time clip. My girlfriend brings it up like at least once a month, but it's an old wrestling match, and it's, I can't remember who it was, but it's literally put on like a show. They're like, and tonight we have this guy against this guy in the battle for custody over young Aiden. No. They have a wrestling match for the custody of a child. Oh, it's absolutely like, you guys have got to look it up on YouTube. It is absolutely hilarious. But
that is outrageous.
Another thing I just want to mention about this wrestling.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know it's fake.
Yes.
There are people out there who still believe it's real.
Yeah, there are.
Which is just mind-blowing.
I mean, they sell out football stadiums to watch this stuff.
I just can't... Only in the USA would this happen.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You know what's another thing I hadn't thought about in a long time?
What's that?
Monster truck races.
Oh,
and
man.
I don't know why that came up, but that would be sick to go to.
Yes,
what
it
kind
would.
of specimens would be in the stands at that?
It would be crazy, but
Must be Monster Energy's best-selling weekend.
Saw our guy, Verklappen won as well. He was plus 900.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Because he started off in the 10th position.
Yeah.
But ended up
doesn't
winning.
get a whole lot of respect.
I know, he's
what
the
I mean?
best in
everyone
racing.
Says they hate him. Like
I know.
I don't know. Everybody likes Lewis Hamilton. He seems to me like he's kind of more of a...
He's washed up now, it seems.
Yeah, it was here. He's washed up. There's people punching air right now, and I know who they are. Big Lewis Hamilton fans follow the pod, but
yeah.
Lewis Hamilton's a pussy. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want any trouble, Lewis.
But I think it was Russell for the other Mercedes driver was in the one spot, favorited to win, but ended up losing to Verstappen. But Nate, that's going to conclude the pregame show of episode 58 or 59. I'm not sure which one, but it's MLB we're talking, and the Milwaukee Brewers have traded maybe the best relief pitcher we've seen in recent years, Josh Hader, to the Padres. So the Padres are looking to juice up a little bit, which they should. I mean,
they're right there with the boys.
Yes, they are.
The Giants and the Dodge.
Yep.
So, I mean, you may as well go for it.
Absolutely. So that's a nice addition for sure for the Padres. Luis Castillo, starter formerly for Cincinnati, was traded to the Mariners. So the Mariners looking to add to the rotation because they as well are in decent spots in the AL West. So they had that big heater earlier on this year.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. So but they are a young star that was batting in the home run derby. Julio Rodriguez, he'll be missing, I think, 10 days on the 10-day IL, so that's going to suck for them. But Nate, there was a rumor last week in the MLB that the Angels were floating around the idea of trading Ohtani. So wouldn't you trade both Trout and Ohtani if you were going to trade Ohtani? Like, you can't just keep Trout on this brutal team. Anyway,
I know, but why would you trade Ohtani?
I know.
Like,
I know.
What? It doesn't make any sense.
I know.
It's like, I get their budget's not as it's crazy, but I guess he's not going anywhere right now. That was the last report I saw. But
he's not going to get traded.
But I guess the Yankees put in a big offer.
Okay.
So, could you imagine if the New York Yankees would have got Shohei Ohtani?
Oh man, it would have been bad news for the AL. That's for sure.
Smokes,
I was talking to a Yankees fan actually at the bar on Saturday night, and was.
So how's he feeling?
He's feeling really good.
I bet he is.
Yeah, he is. But I mean, I try to tamper his expectations because it's going to be some gritty series in the early rounds in the AL.
Yeah. Also, I was I don't know if you looked into because remember we were trying to figure out what the playoff structure is.
Yes.
The other day, so I looked it up, and it's so the last team in as a division leader takes on the last wild card team in a 2 out of 3.
Okay.
And then the other 2 wild cards do a 2 out of 3 as well.
Cool.
And then it makes up the 4 seeds.
Cool.
So that's how it works.
Cool.
Yeah, because I know it's changed a few times.
So the one gamers are gone.
There are no one gamers.
Cool.
Which is, they were sick to watch, but it's just a complete mockery of your entire association when you have a 162 game schedule. These teams battle out. You have 6 teams make the postseason, and then you have one team.
Outrageous.
2 teams playing a 1-game playoff. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's
even the best of 5 pisses me off in the first round.
Why wouldn't you go 7 games? You can play. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
You can play 2 in a day.
Yeah,
man.
exactly. Nate, as of now, Soto still remains in Washington, so we'll see what Juan Soto, where he goes. He's going to be moved. He just wants to get it over with, but we still have tomorrow's the deadline.
Yeah.
So tomorrow's gonna be a lot of moving parts.
Man, I don't know if he's going.
You don't think?
I don't know. He's got 2 more. I believe he has 2 more years left on the contract. Right? So it's like I don't know. They might, but they might not.
Yeah, for sure. Well, tomorrow will tell.
Yes, it will.
Blue Jays are on an absolute heater. Nate, they've won 8 of their last 10. They've kind of separated themselves in the wild card. I think they've got a 3-4 game buffer in the AL East. Obviously, they're behind the Yankees, but from the rest of the sprinters in the peloton. But no, man, the Jays look good. Obviously, George Springer's a little bit banged up right now, but man, I like the Jays' chances, man, if they get in to make some noise.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, especially if they get to do a 2 out of 3. I mean,
yeah,
I like their odds against just about anybody.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of games, but
Manoah and Barrios is starting to look better, and Gosman. I mean, you got your 3 pitchers for the playoffs
for sure. Yep. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting for sure. I can't wait for playoff baseball.
No, absolutely.
This year's going to be sick, too. You just get this. There's so many absolute wagons.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
what's going on there?
Nate, that's going to conclude quarter one. Obviously, we'll have much more news on Friday's episode for what happened in the trade deadline, but I know all the listeners, while you're listening to this, you'll probably be having MLB news as well because it'll be released on MLB trade deadline. Nate, moving into quarter two, we're talking PGA Tour golf because Tony Finau has finally, this might be dangerous for the golf world. Tony Finau has won back-to-back events at the 3M Open and now at the Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit. This guy, man, like, dude, how many times did we call him Mr. Runner-Up and Mr. Two and just couldn't close? Man, like, we watched him final group at the Canadian Open, didn't close, but now he's learning how to close. I mean, this guy could go on a little heater here, could go after the number one player in the world if he continues to.
He's legitimately always there.
Yes.
You know what I mean, for the most part. So it's kind of interesting to see him finally start to win because now maybe he goes into these events and he's a little more like, oh, you know, I know I can do this. So maybe he hasn't got the pressure anymore of what he would have had prior. So it could get grindy.
I was reading, I think 232 starts in the PGA Tour, 57 top 10s.
That's crazy.
Pretty solid.
You
know, every fourth time he pegs it, you can pretty much lock him into the top 10.
Yeah. A good bet.
Yeah, so I mean, he's doing really well, and it's nice to see Tony Finau get a couple closes and a couple wins. The 2022-2023 PGA Tour schedule was released, Nate. There's going to be 3 playoff events instead of 4, and the payouts, as you can imagine, much higher.
Yes.
A lot of the tournaments.
The increase? Have they announced it? Or
I've got for the World Golf Championships. The purse for the entire field goes from $12 million to $20 million. Okay. Like a lot of the tournaments, it's almost double. So I don't know what
had to be done.
Exactly.
Had to be done. In
response to the Live Tour, which we'll get into shortly. No, it's exciting. The PGA Tour, now we're headed for the FedEx Cup playoffs. Nate, I don't know how you're doing in the one and done, but we're in desperate need of some winners to catch anybody.
I'm pretty much screwed. I honestly think I haven't done that for 3 weeks.
Okay.
So I am completely toast.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody left to pick anyway, I don't think.
Well, I mean, you never know.
Do.
Yeah, for the playoffs. And you never know because the prize pools in the playoffs are gigantic.
That's fair. I'll be back in the mix.
The last event is a $15 million win.
Well, I will be. I'll be getting in the guy. Yeah. It's a must.
Nate, Henrik Stenson, who was pegged to be the Ryder Cup captain in next year's Ryder Cup, decided to go play on the Live Tour. Yes. Ended up winning this week in his first start, a $4 million win. But he won't be able to captain the Ryder Cup. Obviously, a big legacy factor in the golf world. The Live Tour, it's still not appealing to me. I'm going to be completely honest. And I had a bit of an argument, I forget who with, just about the Live Tour and how they thought it was good for the game of golf and good. And honestly, like I'm not going to speak to if it's good for the game of golf, or I'm glad that golfers are getting paid this much. But, I think, the fact that there's a split entity of the top players in the world, that is where it gets a little greasy for me. Like, I don't care if it's a Live Tour, I don't care if it's a PGA Tour, but I want to have everyone in the same spot.
For sure. It's a different story too, like we were talking about last episode when it's like hockey, you've got the KHL. Yeah. But there's not a split of like sick guys there.
No. No.
So there's some guys there that are great players, but it's not how it is now. It's completely split up.
Definitely.
It sucks.
What's really cringy for me, and I was reading an article of Davis Love III and Zach Johnson, who's going to be the president or the captain of the Ryder Cup team. I was reading an article, and the two of them, they just found it really cringy, the whole Greg Norman side of things. I mean, obviously, all of these players have gotten their fame and fortune from the PGA Tour. But Greg Norman is an interesting guy. I mean, you think about the infrastructure of golf, and obviously Tiger was, kind of the main attraction to golf for a long time. But before that, your Jack Nicklaus's, your Arnold Palmer's, they established this league and this, this circuit of golf, and now players can, make a living doing it. But this Greg Norman cat, man, he tried to do this in the 90s. Arnold Palmer sat down with him and said, end it. Like, you're not doing this. And now obviously he's seeing some success behind it. But man, like, he posts on Instagram with he hands out the trophy. Like, he is in it for the fame and the attention. And he's just a really cringy character in my opinion. But I don't know what to think of it, man. I have no appeal. Like, the team thing is goofy to me. Like, they're trying to do it in the Formula One setup, and I don't know,
if
man.
the teams were like set teams, I could maybe get a little more involved with it, but it's still just it's weird to have teams every week.
Yeah.
It's an individual sport.
Exactly. It's really weird. I mean, I can't really get behind it, man. And the PGA Tour will have my allegiance moving forward. But Nate, yeah, we get the playoffs just around the corner. So the golf's about to heat up. There's going to be some serious prize pools. And there's going to be, the guys are going to be putting on shows, man. Tony Finau's now heating up. You got Xander Schauffele. Patrick Cantley got hot in this time last year. Roy McIlroy, John Rahm, Victor Hovland. These guys are all on the PGA Tour. Yep. Cam Smith, all the guys that we love to watch, all the top players in the world are still on the PGA Tour. Yep. So we're excited about it. But Nate, we're moving into the halftime show.
That's absolutely feed.
Would you rather? Talking about different sports players in different leagues.
Yep.
Guys of kind of the same caliber. Who would you rather have on your team?
Yeah. You want me to start?
Go ahead.
Okay, we got Gretzky or McDavid. This one's probably tough because there is a generational gap here.
Yeah, there is. I'm going to go with Gretzky.
Yeah? Okay.
I'm going to go with Gretzky because he's a bigger beauty.
Okay.
Hockey, though, McDavid's obviously the better player. It's challenging to
I know.
to compare the generations and that, we can get into all that we have. But I think just Gretzky's a better character.
I need to talk to somebody like in depth that really watched hockey back then. And I just need a full breakdown how I would give it out from someone of how good Gretzky was.
Yeah.
Is what I need.
Yep.
That's what I need.
Well, obviously completely dominant.
Yes.
Dominated, the league obviously more than McDavid did. But as athletes have developed, as the game's developed, McDavid is now the most dominant. And as we know, I mean, if you placed McDavid, which you can't do back then, I mean, you'd have to think.
It's so hard. There's so many like factors that go in because it's just like, all right, well, it's completely different equipment.
Yes.
And it's just.
Matthews or McKinnon? Would you rather?
That's tough. I am going McKinnon for sure.
Okay.
I just feel like he's just got a little more to him for some reason.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
More complete game?
Yeah. He kind of, man, I don't know what it is. Like, Matthews is unbelievable. I might have a little bias just watching so much McKinnon. Like, I've been obsessed with this guy since, he was on the Mooseheads back in the day and, like, watching that Mem Cup. Like, this guy's just got a different level that, you know what I mean? Like, Mem Cup, this guy scores a hat trick in the final.
Yep.
Like, he wins the Cup. He absolutely
goal and assist in the Cup-winning game.
Yeah, like, remember that goal he had against, I believe it was St. Louis when they were trying to close them out, and or maybe it was Edmonton, I can't remember, but when he went end-to-end. It went down in this playoffs.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, exactly. Yeah.
Shelf. Like, he just got, and like at that point, it was like if the team if Kemper could have mixed in a stop there, like that would have been the difference. I'm gonna go with McKinnon, but you're in a great situation
win-win.
regardless.
It's a win-win.
Exactly. So
my favorite, I think, was when Pietrangelo was mic'd up at the outdoor game.
Yeah.
And McKinnon was just like loading up, and he's like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. He's like, "Oh boy."
Here we go. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
And then he scores.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one for you. Little bit of steroid here. A lot of steroid chatter in the Daily Intermission lately. We got Alex Rodriguez or Barry Bonds. I know you're pretty bullish on Barry.
Yeah, I'm going to go Barry Bonds.
Talking about Bonds.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Barry and Mr. Bonds. But Mr. Bonds, I mean, I think he's the best hitter in the history of the MLB. Obviously, I didn't catch the entirety of his career. I was a young kid when he was dominating. But, I mean, you think 4 straight NL MVPs with a batting average over 350 in those seasons. Most home runs of all time. Most home runs in a single season was 73. I mean, Barry Bonds this guy was the most feared. He's putting up these numbers with intentional walks after walk after, like, guys won't pitch to him. And it was pitchers that missed their spots that he would just hit it out of the ballpark.
I remember watching back then. I remember watching all the games when he was getting up close to the record.
Yep.
And I remember just like the crowd booing because some guys would just walk him. They were like, "I can't be the guy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
Guy going. So, but I think I'd agree with you there. I was a big A-Rod guy though when I was a kid.
Yep.
Loved A-Rod.
Yep. I mean, I've just never, just because of the whole Red Sox.
For sure.
All right, Nate, Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers? This is a bit difficult because I know Peyton's been gone out of the league for a little while now, but who would you rather, Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, both Hall of Famers?
Yeah, I'm going with Peyton.
Yep.
Just I don't know what it is about Aaron Rodgers. I don't really like him that much.
Neither do I.
I just don't like him. I don't know what it is. Like, It's just like weird to me.
Yep.
There's a lot of like external factors with the guy, like the family thing. He ignores his family, right? Which is kind of, that's kind of strange. Obviously, I can't really comment on that. I don't know the backstory of it, but I'm going Peyton.
Yeah, he's got more Super Bowls. Peyton got 2 to the 1, and then obviously I think it's 6 regular season MVPs compared to Rodgers 3. So Yeah, I think you're right there.
Okay, we'll go with it. All right. Lastly, for me, Huberdeau or Kachuk?
Yeah,
Right
this
now.
for sure. This is a tough one for me because I mean, you got Huberdeau, who is just an absolute freak of nature. He's just such a great playmaker, and then you've got Kachuk, who brings that dying breed of hockey, power forward, mixing it up. I think
tough.
I think for me, like just the way I like to watch, I think it would be Kachuk, and I know that might make a lot of people upset. I know Huberdeau's coming off the 117-point season, and I know. I just think that Matthew Tkachuk, a little younger player, I just think he makes maybe more of an impact on your 82-game season than Huberdeau would. Might be a polarizing take. It's very close. Like, I mean, I love Huberdeau and I love his brand of hockey. But in the entire trade we look at, I think I would rather have Mackenzie Weegar, Jonathan Huberdeau, a first-round pick, a prospect for Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd agree with you there. The other thing is, too, with Kachuk, I feel like he is, like, no matter what, if he's having a bad game, he's still out there laying the body. Man, like, no disrespect to Huberdeau, but in that Washington series, like, him and Barkov were next to invisible.
Did nothing.
Like, it was crazy, man. I obviously, they had, like, I think Huberdeau had maybe one goal.
Yeah, so he's
An
one of those.
absolute neb, but-
He's one of those guys. If offensively doesn't have it, he can make impact other places in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I guess I would go Kachuk. I think Huberdeau's better at hockey.
Yes.
But... yeah, I think I can maybe take Kachuk, I guess.
Kyrie Irving or Russell Westbrook?
I'm going Kyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure going Kyrie. Dude,
Yeah.
the guy's just absolutely filth.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he's absolutely far filthier than Westbrook.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So I'm going with Kyrie Irving. He's an absolute freak.
I don't know if that's always been the case,
What?
but certainly in the last 2 years, Kyrie's been the better player, and I think in the foreseeable future, Kyrie's going to be. But I think at one point during his career, Russell was a better player. I mean, he's got the most triple doubles of all time, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds potentially right. I'm not
Past
sure.
Oscar Robinson, I'm almost positive.
Okay, well, we'll allow it.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm going Kyrie, though.
absolutely.
For sure. Is that who you would take?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I would go Kyrie. All right, Nate. That's going to conclude the halftime show. Just a brief one today. Guys, I want you guys to keep in mind that Nate and I are coming off a long weekend with a lot of beverages consumed, so we're battling for you guys. We want you to have your daily intermission content for the week.
Yes.
Nate, we're moving into the NHL in quarter three, and we've got John Klingberg. This is an interesting little case here. A 1-year deal in Anaheim for $7 million.
$7 million. I know this guy was looking for 8 as early as last year when he could have had the extension.
Yep.
So he obviously took less money.
Yep.
I don't think he was getting this massive contract from anybody.
I think that's why he fired his agent. His agent was like, John, man, like I like the market's not here, and he's like, excuse me. He's like, yeah, we can't be asking for this much money. He said, you're gone.
Yeah, it was his agent forever too.
Yeah.
And then I believe he's on the Newport. Is Newport the one like Drake and them are with?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
No.
Either. Or is Newport Alan Walsh?
Newport is Alan Walsh.
Is that what it is?
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So
he's
that's
got
the
Fleury
flurry.
and the boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes to war for
Alan
you.
Walsh, you're damn right.
Yeah.
He got him a deal in a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah, he
fires
did.
the old agent, gets him immediately.
But this is interesting for the Anaheim Ducks
yes.
because, now you sign him to a $7 million. Obviously, you had cap space, but like we look around the league, there's not many teams that could have added John Klingberg for this price. It's not going to be a competitive team right now. The Ducks bring him in. You can flip him at the deadline,
Yes.
retain a bit of salary.
Which I'm assuming they will do because
Yeah.
I don't believe they're going to make the playoffs.
No, you wouldn't think. No, not in that division. No shot.
Man, that decor, if you put Shattenkirk and Klingberg back a couple of years, man,
Yeah.
this decor would be absolutely outrageous.
Yep.
But Shattenkirk's completely and utterly washed.
Yeah, and
was
so
never that sick
Cam
when he
Fowler's
was great.
pretty washed up.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I was a big Fowler guy back
Yeah,
in the day.
I mean, we think about we're probably 3-4 years removed from this decor, like you said, being in a wagon, and
Yeah.
just Jamie Drozdial kid's going to be a freak.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And who was the guy they got this year? They got another D-man, right?
They traded Hampus Lindholm. Obviously, he's a good player, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I forgot who they got in that package from the Bruins. Probably a lot.
Yeah, I can't remember either. It was.
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. That's crazy.
I know. Nate, the Sens re-up Matthew Joseph to a 4-year deal, 2.95 AAV. I like this deal.
Oh, I love this deal.
Yeah.
This guy was electric the
Yeah.
entire time he played with the Sens this year.
Yeah.
Great pickup.
Can play up and down your lineup.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play everywhere. He's one of those little Swiss Army knives.
Yes, he
you know?
is.
He's like I don't want to compare him to a Jay Beagle. I think he's better than Beagle, but
Yep.
Beagle do the same thing. He just kind of fill in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. an injury, he can play on your fourth, third line, produce there, skates really well, penalty kills, and then also if say you've got a guy up in the top six that's injured, can pop in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And most to be noted here, that was 100% a mini stroke. I might have had a second one while trying to explain the mini stroke.
Okay.
But this guy works his absolute bag off.
Yes, he does.
He works his bag off.
Yes, he does.
He no longer has a bag. He's been completely worked off. Moving along.
Ethan Bear signs in Carolina a 1 year, $2.2 million deal. I don't mind this. I think he's a good depth defenseman.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. He plays that rough and tough game. He can play that game, and as we've seen in the playoffs, you need your defenseman to be able to mix it up, play strong defensively. And I think Ethan Bear has that brand of hockey. So
great depth guy.
Absolutely. Nate, Jake Virtanen, this is a name we haven't brought up in a long time, and it's actually a name that I was wondering about because this guy had a big time problems in career. Obviously, had a great World Juniors. He's kind of that power forward right winger.
Very high pick. I believe he was like
fifth overall.
Yeah.
Not guilty of his sexual assault charges. So I think he's in Russia playing.
He's in the KHL.
Yeah.
That is correct. Do we see him come back? Who's to know?
Interesting point, Nate, on the KHL. I was listening to Frankie Corrado talk. He's filling in on the Overdrive show, and he played a year in Russia, and he just said it's a half second slower, and that might not sound like a lot, but you just have, like he said, he's a defenseman. You just have that extra half second to pick up your head and move the puck where you want to go. Right. And he said, and for guys out of the NHL who go over there, and one guy in particular, he's going to be a god in the KHL, is Nigel Dawes.
Nigel Dawes is a freak of nature.
You give that guy a half a second, and he's a freak, and then you put him in the NHL, and he just didn't have that time.
It's crazy, eh? Yeah,
crazy.
It's wild, man.
So it's amazing, but Nate, I'm excited to hear your take on this one because I'm so astonished. The Los Angeles Kings announced that they are creating a statue of Dustin Brown.
Yeah, I saw it, and as soon as I saw that, I thought back to one of our former episodes way back, had to have been season 1. We're talking early Daily Intermission. We were talking about what players are getting statues.
Yep.
Dustin Brown, dude, getting a statue? This is the same guy you stripped the captaincy from.
Yes.
What the hell is going on?
Dude, this is okay.
This is just to put up a statue.
Yes,
dude.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
Why wouldn't you wait for Kopitar?
Kopitar.
Yeah.
I can get behind Kopitar.
But is there anything that you can think of?
But even Kopitar getting a statue, I'm a big Kopitar guy. He's absolutely filth.
Yes.
But a statue, dude.
You've got to be
this is Gretzky, Lemieux territory.
Yes, exactly.
You think
Ovechkin.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Ovechkin might get a skyscraper.
Yeah.
They gave him the key to the city after one season.
I'm thinking even too, I don't even know if there's a Bruin. There's going to get a statue. There's Bobby Orr, obviously, the statue, but your legacy.
Can you throw Patrice Bergeron up to a Bobby Orr one where he's doing a thing? You know what I mean?
No shot.
It's ridiculous, man.
And you've got to be I would think a top 5 player in the league for almost your entire career. Longevity would be big, but we're talking about people who are mega famous through the world, Steph Curry, probably statue worthy. LeBron James, probably statue worthy.
Steph Curry, LeBron for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just a handful of guys throughout the leagues, man. I
wouldn't be against Giannis getting a statue.
Yeah,
at some point. Milwaukee,
for sure. Absolutely.
You got to give him a statue. He's a legend. He stayed in Milwaukee the whole career.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, Dustin Brown getting a statue, I think it's a little far-fetched. I think we can agree that that's a bit of a push.
It's the biggest push ever. But I mean, there's other guys, too, that are more deserving. Like Bernie Nichols and... I mean,
what do you have, 5 60-goal seasons?
Yeah, I know.
Bernie's a legend.
Yeah, well, Bernie's a legend, all right.
All right, Nate, I'm interested in the Blackhawks right now. I just wanted to end off the NHL quarter by saying, I mean, where are Patrick Kane and Jonathan Taves going? Because they're not sticking around in Chicago this season.
Yeah, just as you bring that up, actually, this is going to be my dog water. I'm just going to chuck it out a little early here.
Yep.
It's Jonathan Taves. Dude, this guy, man, do you see what he's saying in the media? He's I got no interest in being
the 5-year plan. Yeah.
Oh, it's you don't have any interest. It's I'm pretty sure they don't have interest in you making $10.5 million and getting 26 points a year either, John. What are you talking about, dude? This guy is such a clown, man. I hate that
Nate's
guy.
Nate's not a huge fan of Jonathan Taves. Obviously,
God.
He
sucks.
He's regressed in his career at one point.
He was never that good, man.
At one point, definitely had the intangibles of being a leader, and anyway, I'm not going to get into it right now, but I know Fitz and Wells listen to this. I know Fitz and Wells listen to this going, because he's got
a good old Canadian boy. That's all it is, man. That's literally it. He's a good leader. He won a couple of cups. He's dust.
3.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I know.
One didn't count. No.
All right, Nate, we're moving into the quarter four. NFL. Deshaun Watson, this was serious, surprising news. Headline news, will be suspended for 6 games.
Yes.
So he'll get to play 11 games in Cleveland. So that's good news for Cleveland fans, for Cleveland Brown fans. I mean, you're going to have to go 6 games, grind it out with a quarterback, run the ball lots with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But these guys don't have to write off their full year, man. You're going to have Deshaun Watson, who's absolutely electric, is one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, 26 years old now, but obviously missed a full season. But if he can come back and find his game, the Cleveland Browns are going to be a threat in the AFC North.
They are, for sure. This is crazy. You know,
Yep.
I saw, what was it, the initial post. There's a few things I saw from the comment section on one of them. Someone was saying, I can't remember Calvin Ridley. Obviously, he got a far worse deal here.
Yes.
You know what I mean, for what's going on. There's another guy, I can't remember exactly who it was. They got suspended longer for marijuana.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough look.
Yeah, it is for sure.
But are they throwing the Cleveland Browns a bone by saying, like, you guys have been so brutal?
Yes.
I don't know.
Your quarterback selections have been awful.
Just terrible.
But you got Manziel and Baker. And
Oh, my goodness.
Baker was first overall, right?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to see how he plays in Carolina. But Deebo Samuel signed a 3-year deal, $72 million deal in San Fran. This guy is kind of a new age receiver. They give him to the ball in the backfield a little bit. So congrats to Deebo. DK Metcalf, extension in Seattle. This is really sad news. Canadian-born John Mechie. I was really high on this guy. He played on Alabama last year. Got drafted in the first round by Houston, or early second. He'll be missing the entire season due to leukemia.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so we're thinking about the Mechie family and John Mechie, and it's the lowest grade leukemia. Obviously, it's a scary moment for Mechie, but hopefully he gets healthy, gets the medical attention he needs. But a stud Canadian receiver out of Alabama, obviously the top producing college program. I was excited for him.
Yeah, it's too bad, man.
Yeah.
That's tough to hear.
For sure.
What's that other guy that Washington drafted too? He had the Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's too bad for these.
Yeah.
You know, just everyone's so young. Oscar Lindblom too.
Yes.
You know, it's a shame, but.
It's awful, and we're thinking about them. Center Ryan Jensen. You guys will know Ryan Jensen. He's the long-haired ginger center for the Buccaneers. He's just an absolute lunatic. He'll be missing a couple months, so that's a shot to the Bucs. But hopefully they can fill him in on the O-line. And the Chiefs bring in Carlos Dunlap on a 1-year, $8 million deal. So the NFL's heating up, Nate. The training camps are going. We're going to get news, and we're about 3 weeks out from a couple preseason games, and then the NFL season is going to come real quick.
September 8th.
September 8th.
Yep.
What is it? It's a Rams-Bills Thursday night.
Sweet Jesus. That's going to be an absolute heat machine.
Oh, my goodness. The amount of gambling that's going to go on in the NFL this season is going to be absolutely outrageous. And for everyone listening to this episode right now, you need to take a moment and go to your phone. You need to go to your phone right now and download the app called Chalkboard. So what Chalkboard's going to do is it's going to give you access. It links with your betting account, which is amazing. It showcases publicly how you're doing betting, but also you can get update on all the scores, all the games. It's kind of like a score TSN app. You can check in on all the scores, ESPN scores, and you can also showcase your betting. And then it's a chat board with everything going on. So Nate and I are going to be very active on this Chalkboard. So join the Daily Intermission board. We'll talk fantasy sports. We'll talk all the betting that we're doing that day. So make sure you get on the Chalkboard and join our board. We'll give out a few incentives here in the next few weeks to get on the board and get chatting in there. But if you're listening to the episode, join Chalkboard, join the Daily Intermission board. It's a very simple process. I'm excited about it, Nate.
It is for sure. And like I know sometimes, you hear the thing. It's
Yeah.
like, go download this app. It's this new thing.
Yeah.
Like this is taking over for me 100%
Yes.
from like Twitter. It's just feels like it's everything in one.
Absolutely.
And having the sports book sync to it is absolutely sick. It keeps track of your betting records
Yes.
on every sport.
Yep.
You got everything. Like you can go in there, you can chirp the boys when we get
Exactly.
stuff wrong. We're
Yeah.
gonna be laying out our bets. It's gonna be absolutely sick.
Absolutely.
Once again, the app is Chalkboard.
Yes, it's kind of a sports Discord, but you've got this. You get access to all the scores. It links to your sportsbook. Like this is going to be amazing. So listen,
It is.
We're really excited to build a community on there, and make sure if you're listening, go to Chalkboard, download the app, and get in the Daily Intermission board. Nate, Firewagon Dog Water of the Week. Firewagon Max for clapping for me. Big win out of the 10th position. He did a spin out, still won. Absolute legend. I know a lot of the listeners are huge Lewis Hamilton guys. We're Max for clapping guys over here at the Daily Intermission. So congrats to Red Bull and Max for clapping.
Yeah. Okay. My dog water's already been done. I went on that Jonathan
Yes, you
Taves
did.
rant.
Yep.
My fire wagon is Aaron James, Judge the Third.
Dude.
This dude, man. I put him out on Live on the Line. I'm like, I got an anytime on him.
Yeah.
He hits that and a grand salamer.
Yeah.
This guy's an absolute wag, dude. He's on pace for 66 home runs.
Yep.
I am all on board with this man. I believe he's got 41.
Yep.
Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
He could have bagged another one.
Yep.
He hits them every night. I want this guy to get 60. I think this would be the 9th time in history someone hits 60 home runs. So
Yep.
I want to see it. I want to see it. Let's go, Aaron.
Absolutely. Nate, my dog water of the week is going to be Greg Norman. And I went into the reasons during the episode. The guy is just he's just addicted to the attention of the media. He set up this live league, which I'm not bought into. So Greg Norman.
Does it feel weird to say that name for you?
Not particularly. It's Norman Gregory for me. So I know my Facebook name is Greg Norman, but it was a troll back in the day. But I might have to change that actually. I'm
just trying to picture like a guy's name was like Brown Nathan. I'd be like, this feels so strange to say. But yeah, he's an absolute dog water.
Yeah. All right, folks. Listen, that's going to conclude the episode. We'll be back on Friday. Thank you guys for waiting on the delay. Make sure you guys are following along on all of our socials. Make sure you give this episode a comment, 5 stars. Get on Chalkboard.
Go to Chalkboard. Get Chalkboard. Let's absolutely feed.